Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. Yes, back in the summer house today. It's raining, rain stop play as far as the building works concerned. So today's vlog recorded in summer house. Book that I'm reading, Andrew White, My Journey So Far. Andrew White is an absolutely remarkable man, and it's been fascinating to read his story. As a child, he had a dream of becoming two things. One was an anaesthetist. He was not a child who'd go out and play footy with his mates, but he was someone who really wants to learn, and he would read and seek to gain knowledge as much as he could. And one of the things that attracted him was to become an anaesthetist. The other thing he felt that he wanted to be, or God would want him to be, was calling him to be, was to be a priest, a church leader. And when he told his school, they said that he had to choose. He couldn't be both. Actually, he ended up being both. He trained as an anaesthetist and he worked at St Thomas's Hospital in London. He loved that job and was greatly valued for his work. But after some time, God placed on his heart the calling to be ordained within the Church of England. So he became an Anglican vicar. He worked for different churches around the London area where he lived, but then he moved to Coventry. He was involved in the Coventry Cathedral reconciliation ministry, and really that's been his driving force to seek to bring reconciliation, sometimes between the bitterest of enemies. Much of his subsequent work has been in the Middle East. He was, for a time, the vicar of St George's Anglican Church in Iraq, which really grew and flourished under his ministry, despite the really tough situations that they faced. And he was involved not only leading the church in terms of worship services, etc., but they had a hospital. They provided medical support to people who perhaps otherwise would never be able to get any medical support. They provided food, and so they helped both practically and spiritually. It's a remarkable story. You got to know some remarkable people, some very well-known people. I can't really have time to say a lot about it, but would recommend this book. He's written other books too that are well worth reading. I should have said really that he was diagnosed in early adulthood, I think, with multiple sclerosis. So he's lived with that condition. So what he's been able to achieve, despite his physical illness, he struggled with ill health on and off throughout much of his life. I was interested in particular with what he calls, I think, his motto, life motto. And this was some words of wisdom given to him by Donald Coggan, who was the former Archbishop of Canterbury, who said to him this: "Don't take care, take risks." Remember when you perhaps you're saying goodbye to somebody, you said take care, and that's a good thing. But the challenge of what Donald Coggan said to Andrew White, don't take care, take risks, is that so often we're tempted when a challenge comes along our way to take, if we can, an easy route to escape the challenge, not to embrace it. We take care of ourselves rather than embracing the risk and moving forward, even though it may entail some element of risk. I remember many years ago listening to a guy called John Wimber, through whom he was at a conference led by Wimber in Sheffield in about 86 that I felt God's call to the Methodist ministry. But John Wimber used to say, faith is spelt R-I-S-K. So we need, as followers of Jesus, to be willing to step out even when the way that God seems to be calling us seems on a human level to be a risky step. And Andrew White also says in his book, nothing worthwhile was ever achieved that didn't involve an element of risk. Nothing worthwhile was ever achieved that didn't involve an element of risk. And I can look back on my own life and ministry and see there have been times when I've tried to avoid a risk and taken an easy route to take care, if you like, rather than take risk. But the life of following Jesus is exciting, it's wonderful, but it needs an element of courage to step out on a route that we don't know. When Jesus called the first disciples, they didn't know what that would entail, but they laid down what they were about, their daily lives, and followed Jesus. We too are called not to take care, but to take risks. So God bless you in your life of following Jesus. Thank you so much for listening today.